Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into something special, the Gayatri Mantra.
Absolutely. It's ancient, incredibly respected.
You've probably heard it, maybe even chanted it, but we're going, well, way beyond just the surface translation today.
Yeah, we've got some fantastic sources here that
Right. Yeah.
really let us unpack the layers. It's just this one verse, but wow, it's potent.
Think of it like unlocking the secrets packed inside these ancient words. We want to see what's really going on there.
Exactly. And it's not just, some old hymn. It feels like a meeting point for spiritual ideas, cosmic stuff, even practical life advice.
Right. So our goal is to reveal these layers using the details from our sources. And these sources, they're foundational.
Definitely. We're talking Yajurveda, Rig Veda, Samaveda, and the Aitareya Brahmana too. The fact it shows up in all these key texts, it says a lot about its importance, doesn't it?
It really does. And it's not just floating free. Our sources get specific about the rishis, the seers connected to it, sometimes Narayana, sometimes Vishwamitra,
And the Devata, the main divine idea, is Savita. We'll get into that.
plus the details.
Ah.
Specific poetic meters, Nikrit Brihadi, Daivi Brihadi for the Vyaritis. Even the musical notes are specified in the Yajurveda Shadra, Madhyama Shadra.
It shows how structured and resonant it is, deeply thought out.
Okay, so let's start peeling back those layers. Maybe begin with the spiritual interpretation.
Good starting point. What's interesting right off the bat is how Maharishi Dayananda's view, as presented in our material, consistently leans spiritual.
Mostly inner understanding.
Yeah, almost entirely. There's just this one slight mention, a tiny physical connection, in his commentary on Yajurveda 30.2. Otherwise, it's focused inward. Gives us a solid base for that inner meaning.
Okay. But then the text throws this curveball, this idea that every Vedic mantra, not just Gayatri, exists as vibrations.
Right, vibrations throughout creation, even before Earth.
That just changes everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It suggests these aren't just human words from a point in time, but like fundamental energies, always there.
Precisely. And that cosmic scale connects to the next big point the text makes. The Adhidaivika interpretation, the one about divine forces, is actually essential, primary even.
So it's challenging the idea that Gayatri is only spiritual.
Exactly. It's saying, no, you have to consider these cosmic divine forces too. That really widens the lens on what this mantra is doing, a key takeaway for sure.
Okay, this is where it gets really, really interesting. Savita, the deity of the verse.
Ah, Savita. Our sources give us such a rich tapestry of meanings here. It's quite multifaceted.
So what does Savita actually mean according to these texts?
Well, the Narukta calls Savita the impeller, the progenitor, the one who sets things in motion.
The source?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Shatapatha Brahmana says Savita impels even the gods. That's serious power.
Wow.
The Aitareya Brahmana talks about its power over all creations, all impulsions, and the Tanya Mahabrahmana straight up equates Savita with Prajapati, the Lord of Creation. So it's big, really big.
And it doesn't stop there, right? I saw links to the mind.
You got it. Shatapatha Brahmana, again, it says the mind is Savita. And Kaupatha Brahmana links it to lightning. Powerful, natural force.
Lightning, okay. And cattle, Prana.
Yep. Shatapatha Brahmana mentions cattle, maybe signifying wealth or sustenance. Papalata Samhita connects Savita to Prana, the life force, breath itself.
That's fundamental.
Absolutely. And then, incredibly, Gopatha Brahmana says the Vedas themselves are Savita. And Taittiriya Brahmana connects it to the nation, the kingdom, the ruler. It's like the Savita is woven into the fabric of reality, from cosmic creation down to social structures.
So if we try to pull all these threads together, what are the key takeaways about Savita?
Okay, so first, it's clearly the source.
Yeah.
Origin, inspiration, everything stems from it.
The ultimate spark.
Exactly. Second, it's the producer, the driver of luminous things like light, but also forces tied to desire, attraction, that pull that makes things happen.
Okay.
Third, it controls all created substances. It's the conductor of the cosmic orchestra, you could say.
Not just a distant god, then. It's actively involved.
Very much so. And the text gets even more specific. It links Savita to the Om ray, that core cosmic sound. Also the Chanda ray, related to Vedic meter, like the structure or blueprint, and the mind principle itself.
So consciousness and cosmic order are tied in.
Directly. And then the more tangible stuff, lightning, as we said, various Maruts rays, those windstorm energies, Prana rays, life force again, all the Chanda rays, and finally, the entire star illuminating its domain, like our sun. That's also Savita.
Wow. So Savita is this principle that's both incredibly abstract, the mind, and also very real, very physical lightning, the sun.
Precisely.
So for you listening, what's the big picture here?
I think the really insightful thing is that Savita points to this fundamental, creative, energetic force behind everything. It's the spark and the engine. The source and the sustainer, a truly unifying idea.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Let's look at the Adhidaivika Bhashya, the commentary on these divine forces. It starts with the Vedas, right? Prove the stuff.
Yes, and what was fascinating is how this commentary links these sounds to specific chanda rays and even potential physical meanings.
Like what?
Well, Bu is linked to the Vu chanda ray. The idea is it might represent the denser stuff, non-luminous particles, the physical world we touch and see.
Okay, the earth element maybe.
Sort of, yeah. Then Bhuva connects to the Bhuva ray, or Akasha space, ether, the medium, the in-between.
Got it.
And Sva is associated with the Suva ray. This is the luminous stuff, photons, the energy in stars, the sun, light, and fire. So these first sounds are like setting the energetic stage.
Foundational energies. Then Tat Savitu.
The commentary interprets that as pointing to the Savita that's maybe unperceivable or distant. And as we just covered, that includes the mind, the Om ray, all chanda rays, lightning, the sun, that whole vast principle.
The totality of Savita.
Exactly. Then you get Varenyam, Bharga, Devasya. This is described as the essence that pervades everything.
And Bharga is key here, isn't it?
Yeah.
It has several meanings.
It really does. The scriptures define Bharga as fire, the sun, power or vigor, even the earth. The commentary describes it as this fiery energy, Agniya Tejas.
Fiery energy.
Yeah, the catalyst. It inspires creation by connecting and compressing forces. That's how both the luminous and non-luminous realms form. It's the cosmic engine's power source.
Okay, so that fiery energy pervades everything. What about Dimahi? We usually translate it as we meditate.
Here, it's interpreted a bit differently. It's like the entire substance of creation actively absorbing and holding this Bharga energy, this fiery power. It's not just us meditating, it's existence itself being infused.
An active absorption, I like that.
Right. And finally, Diya, Yona Prachodayat. May that inspire our intellects.
How does that fit the divine forces view?
So the idea is when this Bharga energy permeates the substance that's linked to mind, and the Om ray, which is tied to the Vishwamitra Rishi principle, that then inspires and directs Vakrashmis.
Vakrashmis. Rays of speech or expression.
Kind of. Rays with different radiances, different actions. And the text points out that D itself can mean action, wisdom, and speech. So there's this link between the inspired energy, understanding, and expression.
Okay, so pulling that all together, the Pavarth, the summary meaning for this Adhidaivika view.
Basically, the mind principle and the Om rays, guided by the Viridi frequencies, activate other cosmic rays, Marut, Chanda, etc. This gives force and control to particles, quanta, even space itself.
So everything works together.
Yeah, it allows different realms to function properly, keeps things connected and ordered. It even explains the control of lightning as part of this grand energetic system. It's a cosmos run by intricate energy interactions.
That is a truly epic scope. So let's talk about the effect this verse itself is said to have on creation. According to the sources, the activity starts even before manifestation.
It seems so. The principle linked to Vishwamitra Rishi, representing those fundamental Om Chanda rays, is apparently very active before things become manifest.
Like laying the groundwork.
Exactly. And the specific combination of meters, Daivi Brahadi and Nikrut Gayatri, is said to influence luminous particles and rays, makes them gain intense energy, become compressed.
So the very structure, the rhythm of the mantra, affects cosmic formation, like tuning the universe.
That's the idea. It suggests the cosmos is inherently resonant with these structures.
And then there's the influence of Savita on the mind principle. The text kind of trails off there, which is intriguing.
It does hint at something deeper, yeah. But we do learn more about Om as a subtle sound. It influences vibrations like air, fire, water.
Basic elements.
Right. And maybe even electricity and another visible energy. It really puts sound forward as a primary creative force.
So the sounds bhuva, suva aren't just symbolic.
According to this, no. Their specific sound waves influence particles, quanta, space itself. They actually increase the power and energy of substances through resonance and movement, like subtle building blocks.
Wow. And the text mentions two specific sound energies being crucial for bringing particles together.
Yes, like they act as catalysts for aggregation. And it suggests different realms might have unique sound structures, sonic signatures that keep them active and coherent.
Like cosmic harmonies, keeping everything running.
You could think of it that way. The text also mentions increases in electricity and magnetism from the mantra's influence, linking it back to forces we know.
And the rhythm.
The inherent rhythm is key for maintaining order, regularity. And ultimately, this subtle sound within guides substances back to their fundamental nature, their core essence.
Okay, that's profound. Let's switch tracks now, back to the more personal, the spiritual commentary. How does this help us grow? How do we interpret these parts inwardly?
Right. So on that personal spiritual level, who becomes the foundation of our life?
Sure.
Our true essence, deep down.
The ground of our being.
Exactly. Bhuva is seen as the dispeller of our suffering. The guiding consciousness within that helps us navigate difficulties.
Okay.
And Suva is the bringer of happiness to the higher, luminous parts of ourselves and bringing joy to our whole being.
And Savita, all those attributes we discussed.
Yes, Savita becomes the ultimate source of all good within us and the universe. The inspirer, sustainer, illuminator. The self-existent supreme being referred to as Tat.
The ultimate reality.
And Varenyam is simply that which is worthy of our deepest worship, our reverence. Bhargo becomes the embodiment of pure, radiant light within us.
Inner light.
Yes. So Dimahi, meditating, becomes the act of deeply focusing on that divine light within our own consciousness.
Connecting with it.
Precisely. And Dhyayona Prachodayat transforms into our prayer, inspire our intellects, guide us towards righteous action.
So the whole mantra becomes praise, prayer, adoration.
Yeah.
Fostering reverence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the text describes the experience for someone who really contemplates this purely. They start to feel the universe within themselves.
Like microcosm or macrocosm.
Kind of. They forget sorrow, see Ishwar as the creator, sustainer, controller everywhere. They feel liberated from ego, strive for realization.
And impurities are cleansed by remembering that light.
That's the idea. The Mahi is that direct experience of the divine light inside. And Dhyayona Prachodayat is seeking pure wisdom and the strength to act on it. This leads to surrender, freedom from ego's grip.
A path to liberation, really.
It's presented that way, yes.
Okay, now for a completely different angle, the Adhidaivika commentary. The worldly physical interpretation. This sounds practical.
It really is quite practical. It grounds the mantra in society and action. So here, Bu isn't the earth element. It's karmavidyam, the science of action, of doing things effectively in the world.
Okay, practical skills.
Right. Bhuva becomes upasanavidyam, the science of worship. But here, maybe more like harmonious interaction, contribution within society, how we relate well.
Social skills, community building.
You could say that. And Suva is Gyanavidyam, the science of knowledge, but applied knowledge for improving life and society.
Useful knowledge. Makes sense. What about Savita?
In this view, Savita isn't the cosmic source, but the inspirer of the nation, its people, its collective goals.
Okay. And Devasha, divine qualities.
Yes, but embodied in worldly figures. A wise parent, a good teacher, acharya, an enlightened community leader or spiritual guide, yogi, or a just ruler, people who guide society well.
The guiding lights of society.
Exactly. Then Varenyam, worthy of acceptance, refers to things we should support. A good community, a just nation, beneficial organizations, principles and people contributing positively.
Things worth investing in.
Yeah. And Bhargo, the remover of sins, becomes the force that removes negativity and suffering in society. It unifies, strengthens, fosters sacrifice for the common good within the nation.
Social cohesion and progress.
Right. Dimai, he is contemplating the guiding wisdom needed for worldly affairs, making good decisions for everyone.
Practical wisdom.
Yes. Ya refers to that wise leader, the yogi, king, acharya, or their wisdom itself. Na is just our.
Okay.
So Diya Prachodaya becomes a prayer that these wise leaders and their wisdom inspire our intellects, guiding us towards collective progress and advancement.
So the big picture here is about good leadership and following wise guidance for societal well-being.
Pretty much. Wise, virtuous leaders guide people towards progress, help reduce suffering, and they deserve respect and support for doing so.
It also sounds like it puts responsibility on us too, doesn't it?
Absolutely. This interpretation stresses our active role. We need to work to remove negativity from family, society, the nation, and at the same time, purify our own intellect, our own actions.
View the change, kind of.
Yeah. And it even gets down to suggesting sattvic food, pure, wholesome food, helps enhance the intellect needed for this clarity and right action. Very tangible advice.
It really grounds it in daily life, showing the mantra's relevance goes way beyond just, sitting and chanting.
Definitely shows its practical application in the world.
So wrapping this up, It's just incredible, isn't it? The Gayatri Mantra isn't just one thing, it's this multifaceted gem.
Totally. It holds deep spiritual insights about who we are inside, complex cosmic ideas about how the universe works, and even practical advice for living well together in the world.
What strikes me is how this one verse connects things you wouldn't normally link, like the physics of light and sound, cosmic principles.
And the importance of good leadership or the need for inner reflection. It weaves it all together seamlessly. It really speaks to its profound depth.
It really does. Which leaves a thought for you listening. How do all these layers, the cosmic vibrations, the divine qualities, the call to worldly action, how might they connect in your own understanding? Which interpretation clicks most for you right now, and maybe why?
Yeah, that's a great question to sit with. And honestly, this deep dive has only scratched the surface. There's always more.
Absolutely. We really encourage you to continue your own exploration of the Gayatri Mantra, its meanings, its feelings. It's a journey that definitely keeps unfolding.
For sure. A lifelong learning process, really.